will become a slush fund bank. Nobody ever thought of that. So without him, there was no savings.
Mr. Jakuchu,
And the oil price.
I beg your pardon. Yes. Also recall that the federal government was taken to court by the Governors Forum about sharing the money, which seems to be our favorite sing-song in this country. It's always about sharing the money.
My sister, what are we saying? The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 has a byline. Unless a judgment is given. The same, even Lagos State government took the then President Obasanjo to court on how to manage the federal government funds. And the then president said, you must save for the rainy day. That's what gave birth to excess crude accounts. So Obasanjo did not because they were in court. Whoever is saying that they took Jonathan to court, where was the judgment? The Supreme Court are also Nigerians. And luckily, early judiciary jurists who also know that if you don't save in the vagaries of the oil market, that you can't predict what happens next. That any day you have bounty sales, you must save. That savings was fleeced off. And unfortunately, the price fell, those dived. Today it's between $30 and $40. What used to be $90, $100, and at a certain point, $145. There was a time in the past 16 years we sold $145 per barrel. So all we're saying is that the jigsaw puzzle about the budget is basically the economic climate. And as he said, expectations of the National Assembly to also go the way they used to go on the Jumbo constituency project. They neglected the fact that Mr. President said, I've done above average on the fight of insecurity of all kinds. I've also done so well in the fight against corruption. Now, the Nigerian people are facing a lot of economic hardship. How do I revive it? Okay. How do I address gross unemployment? And he now said he needed to go after critical infrastructure to renew our decayed infrastructure.
While we're waiting for the birds to roost, you say they're coming home to roost, but have they roosted yet?
Almost.
They're almost there. Okay. Mr. Akinsinji, this entire picture, the politicians have spoken, but let's look at it analytically. How is this looking out there? I mean, this is what the first quarter, we're in the second quarter of the year, and the budget. Someone says we have 6 months moratorium to run through and all of that, but at the same time, the economy appears to be at a standstill because everybody looks to the government. But I mean, if you talk to anybody, say, well, the budget has not been passed, so we are waiting. Yeah. When are you going to invest? The budget has not been passed.
Nobody spends any money.
Yeah, of course. Government is the biggest spender in Nigeria. And whatever happened, liquidity coming from government is actually what drives our economy. So when the budget is not quickly implemented, it tends to impact the economy. But again, that's more on the sentimental outlook. The truth of the matter is, a budget is a structure. It's a law, and what we've experienced in Nigeria over the years are failures of budgets. So it's not just enough to inaugurate a budget. The most important thing to a budget is the implementation of the budget. So if you are in a hurry, you get a budget passed in January, and by December, which is the end of our year in Nigeria, you are only able to achieve 45% implementation. You would have actually had a failed year, in terms of budget implementation. So I think this is a new normal for Nigeria, seriously, because if you review history of our policies, what you get is that most policies are actually primed, to fail, So, and it is principally because we don't keep attention to processes and procedures.
Primed to fail. Are you suggesting that those in leadership position come out there thinking of these policies with the notion that they will fail?
No, with the notion that there will be reward. Material reward, coming from the implementation of the policies. It's only in Nigeria that you get policies inaugurated, or conceptualized by people thinking that they will have direct benefits from the implementation of the policies, you know. And that has been the bane of our budgets over the years. You know, it comes with this constituency project. There's nothing wrong with constituency projects, but it must align with national vision. You know, so
who bets national vision?
It's the executive. It's the executive, and that's why the members of the legislative arm must also understand the philosophy of the executive, the character of the executive.
Okay, yeah. 1 second. Let me go back to Mr. Okechukwu. What's the national vision?
The national vision
now in this administration, yes,
is the economic prosperity of the Nigerian people.
Which of the Nigerian people? You might need to break it down, the Nigerian people here.
No, we're not breaking down. You know why? There's no good policy, as he said, if implemented, that doesn't benefit all the echelons or cadres. Why? We talked of Calabar Lagos Railway. If you get it implemented, who will not benefit?
This man is from that
but they say it wasn't in the budget originally.
No.
But, I mean, having read more about it, the Nigerian people feel that this thing should be in the budget because it's going to stop in so many places. And we've been talking about rail. Reduce pressure on the roads. And this thing has been turned into politics as usual in my country. Calabar Lagos Rail, it just seems to be like, you know, every primary school child will say, yeah, that looks good to me, teacher.
No, it's got more than that now. It's got more.
But it's been politicized.
No, it's got more than that. While even we were talking at home, it was in the China shopping list of Mr. President. That's right.
But they say it wasn't in the budget.
No. Let's have it this way.
Okay.
You do not blame those who are trying to mount a hill on this issue. What are they saying? Their own thinking is, oh, Mr. President, if he concludes that, does the one he will do in the north and the one he will do in the southwest, then the country becomes his. This is his weak zone. Don't allow him to do any good thing there. But we have passed that. The southern senators have risen up in unison and appealed to their northern senators to give a backing to this project. The House of Representatives have done so. They have said whether he never came before in the list, whether he came by way of discussion, please, is of national importance. I think that's the most important thing. And it's one of those that have been approved by the Chinese. So if you're in the position where we are today, like a nuclear family, there's shortfall of funds. The father of that family must head outward to look for succor for the family because the kids are not interested how their father augments the economic prosperity.
Okay. The children must eat.
They must stop. Yeah. And they must go to school. They must take Medicare.
Yes.
I think that's what Mr. President had done by moving outwards.
Ezekiel, let's use his analogy. Yes. There's no food in the house.
Yes.
The father must go out to look for food.
Yes.
But what happens when there's food in the refrigerator that is not processed? Should the father still go out? And on what terms should he be going out there?
I'll look at, if you'll allow me 1 second, you asked one of the most fundamental questions. Who births national vision? And my brother said the executive. It is one of the most important questions that we have missed all through. And you said a new party. What's the essence? We already have 29. National vision is never birthed by the executive. The executive comes in to implement the program of the party. Today we have parties whose agenda is to get people into office. And that's wrong. The essence of a party is to birth a national vision, to work out the game plan for the implementation, to shop for the right people that will undertake this national vision, and to create what you call a feedback mechanism or a process of ensuring that these things are done. Okay? Now, when you have parties that their own is fighting over how to give tickets and make money, and whoever comes buys it. When he buys it, he builds a vision. After his tenure, it expires. The party looks